All right, Chelsea fans, welcome back to the Lens Blue podcast channel. In the international break for Chelsea, Dan here, and we're going to get into a couple of conversational points about are Chelsea better off than they were at the same point last season, this season, and just how Cole Palmer is continuing to show that he might be one of the best Chelsea players in the last decade when it comes to attacking. But don't forget to like and subscribe on the video and leave a comment on this one. Let us know how you are getting on in this international break. But look, we cannot contain our excitement and our enthusiasm for the moment because Chelsea are continuing to get it done on the pitch. Enzo Maresca and the team are finding a way to build back the belief. And if the question was, are Chelsea better off today than they were at the same point last season? The answer is a resounding yes. And we can take that across multiple facets. But if we just think about the fact that Chelsea at this point in the season have played 11 total matches across all competitions, at 7 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, 28 goals for, 12 goals allowed. If you compare that to the same point last season, Chelsea have played 10 matches across all competitions with only 5 wins, 2 draws, and 3 losses, scoring only 14 goals in that time. I think we all remember the drought that we incurred at the start of last season and then allowed only 8. So our defense maybe is the point or the question where you might want to point to and say Chelsea still have an opportunity to improve in that regard. But clearly, we are scoring for fun. We're finding a better way to get the job done across a number of matches. We are winning more of our matches. We have one less loss over more games that we have had and played. Like, that is just a resounding yes to start off. And then when you start to peel back some of the individual performance, Chelsea had only played one of the top 4 sides over the course of that period last season. You can kind of also add, I guess, Aston Villa in there as well, too. Chelsea had played Liverpool and Aston Villa in that time period last season. Chelsea had started off with that 1-1 draw against Liverpool, and then the Aston Villa game was a 1-0 loss, if you think about it. Chelsea have only gone up against one team in the top 4, only one team ahead of us on the table so far this season against Man City, which just changed a little bit of the trajectory of the total points that we might accumulate in comparison to last season. Chelsea did lose that game against Man City 2-0 at the start of the season, which means if you look at the performance last season against Man City, Chelsea had 2 draws, 1 home and 1 away in comparison. So we are -1 in terms of the total points that we've taken away over the same fixture that season against Man City. But really, the biggest issue, if you're kind of knock against where we are comparatively against the same teams that we played, it's only the Crystal Palace result that has us down in terms of points compared to the fixtures last season. Chelsea had won against Crystal Palace in both fixtures last season. This current season, with that draw, we're -2 technically on the season in comparison. West Ham were +3 so far. Again, we've only played them once, but we won 1, lost 1 last season. So currently sitting at +3. If you look at the Brighton game, we won both games against Brighton last season, so no surprise, winning again. That gives you a kind of net 0 in terms of that. Bournemouth, we won 1 and we drew 1 last season. So by winning 1 currently, we're actually winning the away fixture, which we had lost last season. You could consider that a +2. And then we lost both fixtures against Wolves last season. So us winning against them in very comprehensive fashion in the Nani Madueke game puts us at a +3 there. Nottingham Forest, we lost 1. We lost the home fixture to them last season. We won the away fixture. So we're currently +1 there. That gives you a total across all of those fixtures last season, +6 points. Taking a look at where we are on the table heading into this break, last season, 11th position, 2 wins, 3 losses, a -1 goal difference. That's just the Premier League performance on 8 total points. This part of the season, though, 4th place, 4 wins, 1 loss, a +8 goal difference, and 14 points. So if we're going to ask the question, and it's an easy answer now, Chelsea are absolutely in a better position heading to where we are going into in the Premier League season, which is a very, very difficult run of fixtures. I think the big challenge is going to be for Chelsea now, how can we sustain this effort considering the fact that that upcoming run of fixtures has a Liverpool fixture in it, a Man United fixture, an Arsenal fixture that are going to be really, really critical. Multiple matches against Newcastle after getting them drawn in the cup that we're going to have to take into consideration. And while all of those teams are going through their own challenges in terms of player fitness, in terms of player readiness, there is one thing we know, and that's we can continue to point to Cole Palmer being one of the most amazing anomalies when it comes to Chelsea attackers over the last decade. There's an infographic that Transfer Market put out looking at the most goals and assists for Chelsea players over the last 10 seasons. And if you think about it, it's no surprise that someone like Eden Hazard tops the list. 176 games, 98 goals plus assists in the Premier League over the last 10 seasons for Chelsea. Now, there is a bit of a drop-off when you think about the fact that you have to go 30 less to get to, that's right, Diego Costa with 89 games and 68 goals and assists combined for him in that, which also just shows maybe how clinical he was and why we've been missing that out-and-out striker for the team over that time period. But then it's the likes of Willian, Fabregas, Mount, Pedro, and then in 7th place in 39 games sits Cole Palmer with 43 goals and assists combined in the Premier League. And just how crazy is that at this point in time that Cole Palmer continues to be a individual running up the table, is 2 goals and assists combined off of Pedro, who had that performance in 137 games for Chelsea. And it is only 7 behind tying Mason Mount to go into 5th position, who accomplished 50 over 129 games. It is very likely that by the end of this season, just combined goals and assists, Cole Palmer could very well be one of the top 5, most likely in the top 4 of individuals with goals and assist contribution. And I think the real question is going to be the 3rd place individual on that list is Willian. Willian did 65 goals and assists combined over 209 games for Chelsea in the Premier League. Now, the real question is going to be, can Cole Palmer go from the 43 that he is at now to the 65? So he's got 22 more that he would need to deliver across both. And I'm going to say it's not outside the realm of possibility that he could pull this off. He's currently sitting at 11. He's at a third of his way to the contribution he had last season over 7 games. And so if we just think about multiplying that across, he had 29 starts in the Premier League for us last season, 33 matches total played, 2,600 minutes in the Premier League for us. It's very possible, off of maybe a few less penalty kicks that he had last season, but maybe with the way that he is balancing that goals and assist contribution right now, that he could be in contention to bring up and get very close to what Willian's total contribution in the Premier League was in a fraction of the games, which just proves how much of an anomaly he is for Chelsea at this point in time and in his Chelsea career. Very, very exciting times for Cole Palmer. Very, very exciting times for attack. Shows just how maybe a bit of a struggle it was for Chelsea over the time to rely upon our attackers over that same period. When you take a look at what the final grouping of the top 10 was, it was a little bit of defender or wingback FC. 293 games for Azpilicueta to get 42 goal contributions. So Cole Palmer has just passed him in this most recent match that we had. And Alonso in 154 matches had 41. The bottom of our top 10 in 91 matches was 26 from Kai Havertz. So definitely looking for our attackers to continue to find a way, make a way, and involve themselves when it comes to what they can accomplish and what they can deliver for Chelsea Football Club. But let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think that Cole Palmer is going to be able to, in the next run of games? We played 7 so far in the Premier League this season, 11 goals plus assists. Can he exceed Willian this season? He has a little bit of work to do, but it isn't outside the realm of possibility or the mathing of it. It could absolutely work for Chelsea. And do you think Chelsea are better off? And what do you need to see from Chelsea to feel extremely confident into that upcoming run of fixtures to see if they can get it done, if they can deliver, and if they can truly prove to you that they are a better side now under Enzo Maresca in this year compared to where they were with Pochettino last season? But that's going to do it for this episode. Don't forget to stay tuned for more content, more coverage this week as the Chelsea women continue to get involved in several matches during the men's international break. And we'll take a look into more with the journalist special that we have too. But until next time, Chelsea fans, you know what to do. Like and subscribe and keep the blue flag flying high.